And we're live. Welcome everyone. This is Aushammer presented Summoning Circle. This is a very casual speakeasy, as you can see, hobby related chat that's going to be sporadically held when we have nothing else better to do with our time. And I'm
when there's enough salt from the earth coming.
yeah, when there's
from
yeah. From everywhere. As you can see, we've cleaned off our desk of all the salt and say that we can actually do some hobby now.
My kitchen is stocked of salt now.
Yeah, oh man, so much salt. Well, salt. As you can see, I'm joined by the infamous Scotty, and the mysterious voice in the hands is the Hobo King himself, Brinley, the real Bryn Shady. And yeah, we've been having a pretty chilled week. As most of you know, we've got Aaron Dembski Bowden, who's going to be on the show next Monday, and we're probably not going to have a lot of time to be able to talk crap about the new FAQ and what we've been up to, because let's be honest, we're going to be wanting to hear all about the amazing mind and the inner workings of Aaron Dembski Bowden himself. So
super pumped to have that.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be really exciting. I'm trying not to fangirl really hard, but it's gonna happen.
Yeah. I've got a few fanboy / fangirl voiced questions.
Yeah, just some of the. Oh man, it's gonna be amazing. I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be pretty exciting. We will be joined by David at a later date. Hopefully, I think he can get on. Scotty, what are you working on tonight?
These fucking hellblasters still. So I've got basically this. The first squad of 10 is still basically painted with no heads. And then the second one of 10.
Why have you split them up? Why they have heads on? Was there a hobby and reason for that, or?
No, I've just stuck them all on bikes to
just
paint in one go.
Just for the lols, just.
Yeah. So the heads are literally just there. I just haven't been bothered to paint and then do the touch ups on the bodies themselves and stuff.
Yeah, it takes a bit. I think really we secretly just created this so that we could actually have an excuse to do hobby. On like a regular event. I just need to drop this light down so I can actually people can actually see what I'm doing. I don't know. It's probably people probably can see a lot better. My screen's rather terrible. I'm painting the side girls for Saint Celestine. I've got a commission that he is picking up tomorrow, so I'm just putting some.
The bottom bitches.
Yeah, I'm just putting some finishing touches on them, just doing up the white and just dropping it on. Not worrying too much. For those of you who have seen Celestine, she's on my Instagram, which is pretty exciting. So yeah, she's a good model. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's a damn nice model.
I like the fact that you just went nah, no eyes, I'll just blue.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. I mean, like I saw some artwork and she had like glowing blue eyes. I'm like, you know what? I hate painting eyes. This is great.
Yeah.
This is a great idea. I'm gonna do this.
I actually went out when I was down at Macrobat a week or so ago. I got a few paints to try and do actual flesh faces and try and do a proper face.
Man, do you want a quick tip on how I do them?
If you say dip them in army painter, I'm going to
just smash them in army painter. Okay, so no. Okay, so see. Okay, so on here, so it's a series of layering. So as you can see on the face here, I don't even know if you can see.
Not too bad. Oh, it's
not
too bad.
Yeah. It's not too bad. So this is just the first layer. So this is just Kislev flesh, just nice and basic. Just crack it. I mean, like, obviously give it a bit of a shake.
I bought 18 flesh tone.
Yeah. Well, I go Kislev because I wash it with Reichland Flesh Shade, and it just looks a little bit nicer. So as you can see, using the wet palette, just gonna dump it on there. I've already got a little patch of Kislev Flesh Shade. I've been using this patch for a little bit. And this just thins the paint down a bit. Dip the brush in a bit of clean water. Off to the side, just mix it in, nice and thin. Thin those paints. And so you got like a little bit on the end, nice and easy, nice and looks pretty chilled out. And then all you do is that you just drag it across it, just get it in Nice and deep. And so you want to do about 2 layers before you do a wash.
Yeah.
So you do 2 layers, just dump it on. It'll look pretty thick and manky.
You're not even like particular. You're just literally just smashing it on there.
Yeah, just smack it in there. I mean, like you know, try not to go too cray, but you get in there. So it's obviously quite thick on the eyes, which isn't such a bad problem. Just wash it out. You get a clean brush, and then you just pull that paint out of those recesses. You just dab it on there, and the paint will pull back into the bristles.
Yep.
And it'll leave like a nice little bit of a layer. And then you just leave that bit. Just leave that bit, let it dry. I don't actually have like any fancy drying things to make it dry, but that's a thing that people invest in, like a quick hair dryer or a quick I don't know, it's just a quick tool to be able to get the stuff dry. So next I'm just gonna go so that's just a face. I'm just gonna go on. I'll tell you when the face is ready.
Yeah.
And we're able to go. Oh, here we go. We've got David.
David, what you doing?
Damn, buddy, can you add people in? Can you add people in onto the chat? Have you got that feature?
No, I think that's you, my friend.
Okay, buddy. It's gonna come up here. Everyone can watch me live.
From you, so you'll have to.
There we go, David.
Rudy Nanda.
D A V I D J.
Coming in
We go Maidman.
On the road, yeah.
Anyone who just wanted David's email, I just
partially gave it out to every single human.
Yeah, I mean, like all 2 people who are probably watching.
If there are people watching right now, send us a message.
Just have a chat. This is probably a prime opportunity to sling absolute crap with us. Big fun. We got a lot of dead air, so I'm just gonna keep rambling. Bigpond.com. Yep. Yeah, so oh no, he's right here.
What?
He is right here.
Got him.
Yep. Invite sent, so he'll be coming around that mountain whenever he decides to actually come. So
do we want to start chatting about the salt?
Yeah, we can we can start having a chit chat about.
We can go back over some shit if
the discussing salt. All right, so let's have a think. What were those really big changes that happened?
Well, we're looking at Psychic first. So Grey Knights and Thousand Suns got their smite back.
Okay, so that's okay. So did Thousand Suns not have their smite?
Well, they did, but with the from what I understand, what they and the Grey Knights got kicked in the balls with was the fact that when you're doing smite, you know, extra per do one and then you do another one, that you add the +1. So because you know, from what I understand, Grey Knights, every single squad is a psyker. That means every single squad gets to have a go at smite. So by the 4th or 5th, it's no use. When that used to be their main way of wrecking face.
Are they still able to do like the whole what am I trying to say? So can they run interference on the Psyker spell, like the
Deny the Witch and stuff?
Yeah, Deny the Witch. Can they all do Deny the Witch as well?
So they've got all the Deny the Witch, all that sort of stuff.
Oh, that's pretty sneaky.
Yeah, that's why Grey Knights are very small squads, but very powerful squads.
Oh, I've really got to have a look at them. I used to be a fan of the Grey Knights, but I'm not actually. Don't actually play them anymore.
A mate of mine that I play semi-regularly is a big Grey Knights player.
Okay.
And yeah, so I'll send him a congratulatory message on getting his smite back for his Grey Knights. And he's like,
must be quite happy about that, I imagine.
But there was still some whinging from the conglomerate
That's pretty standard. They're all definitely quite
Yeah.
crankosaurus about some things.
Yeah. So you know they were happy. They were happy that they got Smite back and whatever else, but they were still bitching about something that I really didn't honestly look at or look into or give a shit about.
Yeah, I'm not too worried. I was quite pleased with the changes that made to the Tower Codex.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually just gone over it. I'll probably crap on into that more often, but the FAQ overall didn't really affect them. It kind like slightly affected what I was wanting to run with some psychers,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just like, it's not really good anymore. And then the commissars that every unit can take on now.
Hang on, what Tau? What?
No. I'm talking about Imperial Guard. Sorry.
Okay.
The Tau are very unaffected. They were very unaffected by the whole thing. There wasn't a lot actually
Fish people.
involved. Yeah, the fish people are good to go. They need psychers. They didn't get any. I would have been pretty happy. Like just like a Kroot just eat an elder or something, like an elder faster and they get psychic powers.
Just spirit stuff.
That'd be way funny. I remember playing a tournament. Yeah, just like they're just chomping down on spirit stones, giving them psychic powers. I'd pay that rule. That'd be wicked.
That's narrative and a half, I think.
Yeah, that's right. That's what you need. You just need psychic Kroot. Crazy psychic Kroot. I think there was a story where some space marines or an inquisitor or something came across psychic Kroot on a world, and that was like
What the fuck?
a big deal. Like there was like a super Kroot that was like that had consumed the genome of orcs and like elder.
Oh wow.
Or Tyranids and elder. It was something real fucking frightening. Hey, like it was not right. It was a big pile of bad juju. I mean, like fluff wise, sure, grimdark universe, totally plausible, could have happened. But if like something to make canon and to actually be like, oh yeah, this is actually happened. We're actually, we've actually got psychic Kroot that can assimilate whatever they attack. Like,
oh.
you would literally run like 40 Kroot at a bloodthirster or like a greater demon of Zinch just for that off chance that it would absorb all of that power and go like absolute full ballistic. That would be, I think that'd be worth it. I think that'd be a worthy gamble. You just give them, I mean, they're already pretty average, like everything wise, but
or just Tau in general.
Yeah, just Tau in general. They're not too bad. They brought the price for broadside battle suits down heaps.
Yeah, my
like 60 points now.
I know that my Dark Talon went up 20 points for some reason. Like I don't.
It's a Dark Talon. Everyone hates the Dark Talon. It's actually quite good. It was rather on. I feel that was pretty justified. I think the Dark Talon was something that was a little bit underpriced for what it did.
I think that I'm using my Dark Talon the wrong way.
Yeah, I think. How are you using your Dark Talon?
So basically, I run it up first, obviously first turn. It's either like I'm just running up and trying to take out squads, just infantry squads.
Yeah.
Whether it be your what's your little gunners dude's names fucking again? Fire warriors.
Oh yeah.
Try and slaughter out a few fire warriors and stuff. I think it might be just my rolls, and then I've had your big flyer come in and then just wreck its face.
Oh, the Sky Shark.
I think that yeah, and it's just come in and wrecked it. Like it went pop in a turn almost.
Yeah, they don't. They tend not to last very long.
No.
The Sky Shark and the Sunray, whatever they're called, they're pretty good flyers. I don't actually own one, but
yeah, I know.
I don't know if it's something I want to go into. I'm more of a fan of a very sort of static gun line, but with very mobile suits to be able to cover extra area.
And that's what like I was playing against Matty, and he just wiped me. Like once again, I had nothing for him.
Yeah. So what other changes have there been to the psychic phase?
That's it. The next one.
That's it.
The next one along, yeah. The next one along is targeting characters.
Okay, so what's going on with the characters?
So it reads: an enemy character with a wounds characteristic of less than 10 can only be chosen as a target in the shooting phase if it is both visible to the firing model and it is the closest enemy to the firing model.
Okay, so that's
enemy characters with a wound characteristics of less than 10 when determining if the target is the closest enemy to the unit to the firing model. So, and then there's a sub underneath that. It says this means that if any other enemy units other than characters with the wounds characteristic of less than 10 are closer, whether they are visible or not, then the enemy character cannot be targeted. So it doesn't matter if you've got a squad hiding around the corner. Too fucking bad.
Yeah. So if it's in the middle and they're visible,
which is fair enough. Like that's
yeah.
I don't know why they've had to reword it again and again and again.
So what was happening was that people were running Gilliman, and he'd be hiding in like basically fucking invincible gun fort with all his homies, and he'd be up the front somewhere, but because there was like a scout in cover, like right next to him, they had to target the scout. And so like two up, like probably wasn't probably wasn't gonna happen anytime soon. Man, their faces look real mong. I feel like I've done a bad job.
You just walked me through and you're like, no, that's fucked.
No, well, this is the one that I've done, and I'm like, oh, you need help. And this is one that I'm working on now. So she's looking a little bit crisper, which is okay. So we'll try and get a little bit close. I've got to orientate this. For some reason, this whole thing's just backwards. I don't know.
So next one is into tactical reserves, or
Oh yeah.
So you can't fucking alpha strike anymore, basically. Like I did to you guys the other night.
Good old alpha striking. Yeah, there's been read out what the changes to the tactical reserve are.
Say that again.
Read out the changes to tactical reserve.
So I'll just read. It's got a big blurb in the beginning, but I'll just read the block. Instead of being set up on the battlefield during deployment, many units have the ability to be set up on teleportariums, high in orbit, in reserve, blah, blah, blah. In order to arrive on the battlefield mid-game as reinforcements. When setting up your army during deployment for a match play game, at least half of the total number of units in your army must be set up on the battlefield, and the combined power ratings of all units you set up on the battlefield during deployment must be at least half of your total army's power level, even if every unit in your army has an ability that would allow them to be set up elsewhere.
Ooh.
So I think people were doing is leaving amounts of high point cost units in reserves, even though by numbers on the table it was half, by points wise it wasn't. So now it has to be half your points on the table. The way I understand that.
Okay, so you can't have model wise, you can't have 40 fire warriors that cost 2/5 the fuck all, and then suddenly just have all these fusion blaster wielding. You can't have 48 crisis suits in reserve.
For me, it's 3 squads of 10 Terminators or something. You have to have at least half your army points wise on the table.
That seems pretty fair. Like that seems fair. I never really ran anything too crazy for that to be an issue. But I guess that's going to be an issue for some people who had really heavy alpha strike sort of armies.
Yeah.
Which is okay. Like that's what people, that's what people sort of want to do. That's what the sort of stuff that they want to run.
Yeah.
They're going to do that.
Thing is, people like that just take the fucking fun out of the game. Like, why be a dick?
Yeah, don't be a dick. Yeah.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be the guy. Just be a normal person. Be
There's actually supposed to be fun affiliated with this game, not just black faggots.
Yeah. How to be a reasonable human being? I mean, okay, so someone so yeah, okay, let's keep going with what is going on with the FAQ. So that's the change to tactical reverse, which is going to be pretty big.
Yeah.
That means a lot of people can't do a lot of changes to certain things, which is okay. So what's the next thing on the salt pile?
Battle Brothers, aka.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So the whole detachment suit thing being thrown out.
So
Yes.
I'll let you run this one because I've never had to come up against this. So you are still probably a little bit more versed on this than I would be. So run for it.
Yeah, so detachment soup. So detachment soup is a term that has obviously been coined by the wargaming competitive community, in which a person runs. So before we could have like Imperial Guard solid lists, Imperial Guard only lists, and really even when we had Battle Brothers and all that stuff, you still didn't see great diversification. You would still have like all Imperial Guard or all Blood Angels or all Space Wolves or all this other stuff in 7th edition. That was very, very prevalent.
Which is sort of how it should be, yeah?
Yeah, which is yeah, really, really how it should be. Like there's nothing wrong with any of those ways of running it, and it makes a lot of sense. But because obviously how the Imperium is and how often we have, like even in our fluff, we have crossovers between different armies fighting back to back against each other. And this is something that they wanted to be able to relate in yeah, on the table. So they wanted to be able to be like, oh yeah, it's totally fine to run, a detachment of Catachans with a detachment of Cadians. And that's another thing that 8th edition changed. It gave very specific abilities to certain factions, which means certain factions would have a tactical edge in certain areas, and for other people they're just like, oh yeah, it doesn't really matter. I'll play this army this way and that, which is absolutely fine. But when in the competitive scene, it becomes incredibly important to be able to maximize the use of your troops. And so what people were doing is that they were running detachments that were actually made up of multiple factions. Okay, so that's within the detachment. So you're able to have, in a faction, you're able to have Imperial HQ units, okay, overseeing guardsmen or something. Like you can still run massive detachments of guardsmen, and then if you've got points left, you make another detachment to run whatever else you want. So they can still. It really hasn't changed much. It's just makes it a little bit harder for people to skip around on the rules and
around within a specific detachment itself. So you can have a detachment of Imperial Guard and then a detachment of Blood Angels or whatever.
Exactly.
But in one detachment, it basically needs to be all of that army. So all
it has to share the same keywords. Yeah. So you can still have a detachment of Catachans and a detachment of Cadians, but you can't have a combined detachment of Catachans and Cadians. I believe. Or maybe you can. Maybe you can't have a combined detachment of Blood Angels and Cadians or Blood Angels and Catachans. I think that's it. I'm pretty sure you can still run a detachment. Wait, no, you can't. No, you can't. That's extended as well. Look, if I'm wrong, can someone please correct me, because it's not something that I've ever personally run myself. I understand the vague appeal of it.
Sure.
Yeah, like I understand the appeal of being able to run a really cool detachment of let's say Death Guard, and then also being able to run a detachment of, oh wait, hold on. Okay, so you've got a detachment of Blood Angel Death Guard, which require a lot of CP to be able to just jump around and rate face. And you can still attach that couple of 100 points of Death Guard to
Death Company, you mean?
Yeah, Death Company, and you can still have let's say a 900 point battalion of guard, which gives you it gives you 12 command points now.
Alien now gives you. It's going to say it actually says it down further. Let me just.
Yeah, we'll get onto that. So it'll give you X amount of things. So the idea is to use your.
It's 12 battalions, 5 now. So battalions up from 3 to 5, and brigade is up from 9 to 12.
Yeah, so that'll give you 12 command points. For 900 points, you can make it really small, really useless, just basically as a guard battery. And then you use that to power your like souped up Blood Angel death machines to just jump across and decimate your opponent. So and that's fine. That's kind of what you want. Like that's kind of pretty cool. And we've got David here. He's currently got his mic off. I'm sure he sent me a message.
Hey guys, what's going on?
There he is. He's having a chat. He's good to go. He's not suitable for viewing at the moment, which is okay.
At the moment, it's probably every day of the week, my friend.
Probably every day of the week. David is now the disembodied voice of Aushammer, and he will be here overseeing our insanity.
I think it's a tough gig, that overseeing the insanity.
Yeah, well, you're good to go. Yeah, well, we called it the summoning circle. So I mean, you know, we've summoned ourselves a David, so we've done pretty well.
It took a little while, but he finally got there.
Finally got there. We just had to sacrifice more paint, and we should have just dumped one of the ink washers on the thing. Just make
that would have scared me. Driving over just to hear you just knock over an ink pot would have just
the screeching that would entail.
Oh fuck! I've done that.
Oh man. Man, I've got I had a person make up like one of my machinist mates. I gave them the dimensions for a bolt round.
Yeah.
And I'm like, could you make it so I could just like fit one of these pots in here and make it really heavy on the base?
Yeah.
And as you can see, like it's pretty good. Look, I'll do a cross comparison. Same amount of force gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's pretty good. And it's just that little nudge.
Yeah.
That sends it flying.
Back in the day when I'm just crying over my bench and shit. Like,
oh man, just sending a pot flying and watching it tear. But you know, if you use a wet palette, it's less of a problem now. So
you just wreck the rest of your wet palette.
Yeah, you just wreck your wet palette.
Wash off a wet palette. Like really? You just do it straight out of the fucking jar, man.
Just straight out of the jar. You just put it on your desk and you just scrape it off your desk. Yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you win competitions. That's how you win painting competitions.
See, I'm learning something new every night.
Yeah, that's it. You just scrape it off your desk. You heard it here first. That's how I get all my models so pristine. I kind of just roll them around on the desk full of paint. Yeah. And just magic happens.
I was thinking you just bought multiple bloody pots of shade and washes just to make sure you always had a backup.
No, you just dump it all on the desk. Just and it just collects.
That'd be a really good scheme for plague bearers. Actually, I might have to try that. You've got me intrigued,
mate. If it works, I want to see it. If it's gonna be something that's gonna.
My poxwalkers, I just sprayed them white and then just washed them purple. Who really is going to go up and look at 50 poxwalkers?
And you'd be like, I don't really feel that this paint scheme reflects what a demon of Nurgle would actually look like. I don't think it's going to be a conversation many people are going to broach with you.
They walk up and go, dude, what the fuck?
Now, what is going on here? This is clearly not a GW standard technique. I'm just going to have to disqualify you. Please pick up your models and leave the tournament.
Please leave quietly without fuss.
Please leave quietly without a fuss. I will call security on you. It sounds so familiar. It's almost like I know exactly what they say to people.
I've been there myself.
I haven't been banned from a tournament.
Let's not.
Yet. I'm sure there are some people we could ask what the experience is like. Where is he? Oh, it's good. It's a good chat. It's a good chat. Good chat. All right, so we've got the face. We've got 2 layers on there, looking pretty decent. We've given it a wash, and it's just gone into the recesses. So what we're going to do from here, you're going to get a tiny amount of watered down paint on your brush, and you're just going to dab it off so you've got the excess of it. And just with the tip of it, you're just going to lightly just drag it across the features.
Just put the tip.
Just the tip. Just drag that tip across the features. That's right. You heard me.
Drag that tip.
Grab that tip, and then just try and focus. Not allow it to go into any of the valleys with the shading, but just allow it to collect on the high points, and that'll just provide like a little bit more depth. It's a pretty GW standard sort of look, but it gets the job done. And for a person who hates painting faces, as long as you're not trying to like, I'll be honest, I don't even do the eyes half the time if I can avoid it. Like eyes can just.
I'm actually like for helmets I do.
Oh yeah, for the lenses and that, when it's a lens and that, which is like when it's a single color object, yeah, that's absolutely fine.
I am, and I hate to say it, I am keen to want to learn to paint eyes, to paint faces. Like
you actually do the eyes blue. That's an easy color to use. So going blue, a fair bit nicer. There we go. That's all right. I'm pretty happy with that. It's pretty standard. It's got a little bit of detail to it. Doesn't look too crazy. Like they're just models. They're going to be like side to Celestine, so I'm not too worried if they don't look perfect, and I don't want them to match the same level of detail as Celestine. I don't want them to be taken away from the awesomeness, but I mean, I've got to remember that these are on a little bit of a height thing, so they come up a little bit higher than usual. Just got to make sure the bits and bobs are all good to go. They don't look terrible. I don't know. What color should I do those little things on the back? We'll go Zandia Dust or something. We'll go from there. See if I can find in my pile of stuff. Oh yeah, there it is. There we go. Right. So when I have to do like a cream color or something real basic, I'll usually base with Zandia Dust or XV88, depending on the size, depending on the color that I want. Zandia Dust is pretty good. I think I need a fair bit of it, so I'll load this brush up. And I'll just pick a spot on the palette somewhere where I can smear it around a little bit. Here it'll work. Let's get off some of the excess stuff, and then we should be able to just paint till our heart's content. It's going to be pretty exciting. So let's continue on our adventures into the salt pile.
Fatland.
Yeah. So where are we up to? What are we?
So Battle Brothers, and then it's just some index rule erratas.
All right. So let's hear about the index. Oh wait, who still has an index?
Orcs.
Orcs. Okay. Yep. Fair. They're a pretty good army.
Who else has an index? Jeez. Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Well, not Dark Elder, that's for sure.
Down and see what it says. Okay, so we've got Index Xenos 1, Word of the Phoenix. Actually, let's go from the top and stop being a shit here. Okay, so related errata, Imperium, page 87. I'll just douse myself with water. DM Legionaries abilities. As long as your warlord is from the Imperium, you can include this unit in a Vanguard detachment. Even if that detachment contains no HQ units, however, if you do so, that detachment's command benefits are changed to none.
Sorry, is this a Lost in the Damned?
No, it says Damned Legionaries abilities, saviors from beyond.
Oh, so there's still a thing.
So Index Imperium 2, pages 110, 111. Prosecutors, Vigilators, Witch Seekers, and Null Maiden Rhino.
Oh, nice.
Add the following ability: Null Maiden. So long as your Warlord is from the Imperium. So same as above. Same as above for Assassins. Vindicator Assassins, Callid Assassins, Eversor Assassins, Collector Assassins, Assassins in general. Xenos 1, page 76, Army the Reborn. Place this paragraph with the following. If your army is Battleforged and the warlord of your army is neither, here we go, Vrain, is it? Y-V-R-A, Vrain or Vizark or Yinkan.
Oh, yeah.
These are my pronunciations. Then you
You're
can include any of these models in any craft worlds, Harlequins or Drakari, provided the detachment does not have any of the following: Urian Rakath, Drazar, Mandrakes, Avatar of Cain, or any homunculus Coven units. You can include these models in the detachment even if you are using Battle Brothers matched play rule.
Ooh, that's kind of pretty snazzy. Not actually too bad at all.
So it goes on again. If Vrain or Vizark or Yinkan is included in the detachment, all Eldari units in the detachment gain the Yanari keyword. These units cannot use the following abilities and are not considered to have them. So they can't have Ancient Doom, Battle Focus, Rise and Crescendo, Power from Pain. Instead, Yanari infantry and bike units gain the strength from Death ability. As described below, the detachment is still considered to be Craft Worlds, Harlequin, or Drakari, and so can use Craft Worlds, Harlequin, or Drakari stratagems, warlord traits, and their relics respectively. Note that these units will not, however, gain any of the detachment abilities listed in their respective codexes. Holy shit. If you want a mouthful, there it is.
That is quite the list.
Wow.
All I can think of that is like warlocks basically need to be around bikes. So you're going to go back to that sort of jet bike style Eldar army, really. They were so much fun to play against, or if you're lucky enough to have a small fortune.
I've never had the misadventure.
They were so much fun to play.
Definitely fun to play. Definitely fun to play. Far less of a joy to play against.
Yeah, sometimes you felt a little bit bad, but you were just so quick and everything just buffs everything else, which is great.
They definitely had
players side, not the playee side.
Yeah. Dirty Elder player.
Still great, This is the 2 games of Eldar, and here I am. This is awesome.
Yeah.
This is
with this all the changes dropping. I mean, it's kind of been the Eldar players have been pretty salty by the look of all the Facebook groups, which.
Oh yeah. Oh god, yeah. Like it's been like we're basically taught. We should just rename this, the show. We should just call it the Salt Pile, and
Salt mines.
The Salt Mine.
Salt mines.
Aushammer Salt Mine.
I was chatting to a couple of guys at work, and they've always been Eldar players, and they've just dropped and just played competitively. And today I'm just sitting there talking to them, and they're just like, "You're playing Eldar wrong." Like,
yeah.
Why? I've got Dire Avengers. I've got little Guardians.
Oh, you're getting tips from the pros.
They're like, no. You just need to load up on everything. I'm like, well, now you're kind of screwed because the only Eldar that you guys kept were
jet bikes,
Blacks, Dark Reapers, and you're now struggling to put a list together.
Yeah, you idiots. Oh wow, that's They're definitely going to be significantly. They're going to be disadvantaged.
But they're still pretty good. Like I think Dark Reapers. I mean, they needed to go up in cost anyway, and they're all pretty cool. So Eldar players.
How much did they go? How much did they go up in cost, Dave?
It was only a handful of points, so it's only 5 or 6 points, something like that.
Oh, okay. That's not really
I
nice.
didn't. I sort of glossed over it a little bit because I actually don't own any, and I did think about picking up a few, just because the models. I do actually like those sort of models.
They're quite nice. They're quite nice.
As a side note, actually, Bryn, just while I've got a brush in my hand, what do you use?
Yeah, buddy.
Brushes.
What do I use to clean brushes? Just water and just like brute force. See, I'll give a live demonstration. Ready?
No, you dummy. I mean, like, use brush soap or Incredible brush cleaner or what, like anything.
Okay, so if you've got nylon, so if you've got hair brushes, so like actual hair, I find actual shampoo works really well. Like, like it works really, really well. Like it's shampoo. It works amazingly for cleaning brushes. If it's a nylon brush, you have to use something a little bit heavier, and I find isopropyl alcohol gets it out, gets all that extra crap that kind of just builds up here out really, really easily.
Yep.
And that has been a lifesaver for a couple of things. Obviously, like once you start to get ingress into the actual into this metal cap area here, you either got to work very hard to get it out, or you kind of just got to get a new brush because it'll start to split.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit sad, but you know these things happen, and that's why we
it's a circle of life, people.
Circle of life, and we buy more brushes. I don't have any super expensive brushes though, so I've never really been super big on the whole
worry about it, yeah.
Yeah, worrying about the maintenance of brushes, and then I'm just like, well, if it flogs out, I'll just go get another 50-cent brush from wherever. Yeah, there's like I think the most I've ever paid for a brush was like $9, and that was actually whatever the GW price cost. This Citadel wash brush is absolutely amazing.
Oh, really?
If you only use it for washes, though, that's the thing. Don't use it for anything else.
Yeah.
Like, don't use it to paint. Use it for washes because the tip and the reservoir are specifically designed for washes.
For washes, for thin paints.
Yeah.
Uber thin paints.
Yeah, and you don't. This rarely touches water. Only when I've done everything that I need to do will it go in water, and then it's dried with a paper towel.
Yep.
And that actually allows it to remain quite. I know it keeps it pretty good. It's not a huge issue if it flogs out. But another thing to remember is that the washes will go that sort of glassy, sort of oily look if you have water on your brush when you dip it into the wash container, and it'll have the same effect as if you go too hard on the wash. It'll go a very shiny sort of color, and it won't have that matte finish because of the water particles that are in there. So that's just a tip for young players. When you're doing your washes, make sure you're doing it properly.
I feel like that was directed at me.
Yeah, that's mostly directed at you, Betty.
You piece of shit, and then adapt.
Yeah, because Scotty just does his own thing, and Scotty needs to be retrained.
It's probably good. I own like 4 GW brushes, and 3 of them.
Really cool.
And
oh man, there's like a little pink flower. No, what?
I said, he base coats with those wash brushes.
Yeah, you just base coat it down. Just destroy that brush. You base coat with a fine detail brush, and
Oh, you'll be fine. It'll take you a while, but you'll be great.
Yeah.
So me that was trying to base coat with the Windsor and Newton. Like, really?
Yeah. Maybe we should do like an episode on like brush identification. What is this brush for? And then that'll probably be somewhat informative. Actually, we actually got one person watching. Are they in the chat?
What's that?
Person. This actually we've actually got one person watching. They've been sitting here for a fair bit. I might just pop onto the actual YouTube.
I'm doing the same.
Channel Thingamajig. Are they on there? They've actually got really clear.
I thought it was just me sitting on my phone somewhere. That's probably just my phone.
Is it just you? If it's just you, that's okay. I'm okay. It's just David. It is just David. Just David sitting there. That's cool. I'm okay with that. I can.
Here.
Yeah, we've got like lots of interesting people. lots of people. I mean, like, we don't actually want a high viewer content for this show. This is literally just like a random hobby hangout thing. We're not actually here
I
to
was actually trying to achieve something hobby-wise this week.
If
Yeah,
this
will
in their travels, then so be it.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not particularly worried about it. What have we got? We've done the face, we've done the hands, done the arms. All right, I'm going to do a quick dry brush of this stuff, and I'll even give a live demonstration of dry brushing because I feel like this is something that some people don't actually quite get 100%. So things you're going to need. Okay, firstly, you're going to need a paper towel.
I have learned the hard way of dry brushing, I will say that right now.
Yeah, you're going to need a paper towel and a brush that you don't like. So I'm going to try and find my actual dry brush.
Your mother-in-law.
Yeah, so you can dry brush your mother-in-law. You can your face, your hands, your eyes, your neck. A dry brush is usually I would probably go for a nylon brush. They tend to be a little bit better at what they do. Like some nice nylon bristles. Like I've got this is a pretty fat nylon brush. This is for dry brushing.
They're a stiffer bristle as well.
Yeah, they're pretty solid. And you want them either like real nylon-y so that they can take a lot of particles onto the bristle and then allow you to dry brush really easily. Or you just want something that's not going to be like super dense. And so obviously you got your base color, so you pick the next color up for whatever color you're going for. Base color, just go for another base color or just go higher. What you do, you just dip it on the end and you want about that much there. You want it kind of really glumpy. Dry brushing isn't my favorite technique because you waste so much paint, but it looks good if you do it right. So what you want to do is that you just want to work it into just really work it in to that paper towel. Like work it all the way up into the bristles until it comes out like this.
Like right up the top, yeah.
Yeah, like not all the way up the top, but up a little bit. And then you just want to give it a bit of a test on your finger, and you just want it to be just pulling off a little bit of paint. And then from here, you just want to pick your surface, and you just want to pick a direction and go in that one direction. And see, as you can see, it's already starting to pick up. It's not picking up all over it, but it's picking up the edges that I want to highlight. And that just makes it a little bit easier. And as you work around, just pick those big flat areas. And then that'll naturally cause little bits to go in there. And then that'll give you a pretty decent gradient, a little bit of shadowing. And that'll look pretty good. And then obviously the less paint you have, the more layers you're going to need to do. But like this is just for this area. It's not going to be. We're not going to worry too much about it.
Or if you're like me, what you do is you dry brush almost an entire model.
Huh? That's pretty good. I mean, dry brushing is really good, man.
Yeah, I love it because I'm an absolute muppet when it comes to painting. And I figure I got shaky hand syndrome, so I end up dry brushing the whole model. But I start with that darker base color, and then I actually just work my way up a little bit lighter, just around if I just pick bottom left, top right, the model, especially for plague bearers or anything pretty basic troops, and then just do that in those two corners. Grade a few other areas, and then come back with a lighter color, and then just do a glow at the end, and it sort of all pulls it together.
And it's good to go.
My limited experience.
I've just come across another rookie mistake, lads. I've got to drill out some bolt pistol barrels.
Oh, you can still do them when they're on the model. It's not a.
I'm having a go at it now.
So often quite entertaining. I'm actually going to rebase these models now. I'm going to take these bases off. I've got some cork bases that I made up for.
Oh, what happened there?
No, she's good. She just flew. Just launched herself. It's okay. They're so tiny. Look at the size of that.
Yeah,
look at the size of that. It's so tiny.
So
not a huge fan. I'm gonna be honest, not a huge fan. But it's okay. Look, I've got some nice bases right here, and I'm just gonna. So I use Loctite to adhere things to everything. So. It's pretty good. We're just going to slam a little bit of Loctite on the bottom. Hopefully it'll come out. It's not clogged.
One drill barrel done.
Just going to tear this out. Man, it's kind of not such a quiet night. There's no one on. It's
because everyone else is out getting drunk, going to parties and such.
Yeah.
We're just being nerd.
Yeah, which is okay. We're pretty happy. All right, so let's continue with the journey through the land of salt.
Oh yeah.
Where are we up to, Scotty?
Just let me punch this last barrel out.
To about Scotty and the
Looting, swing around, boys, barrel. Yeah, that's how you drill barrel.
looking pretty good.
I'll drop mine off to your place, Scotty. You can sort out the ones that I've forgotten.
All right, so
the little one onto it.
With rules erratas, where are we up to? Okay, so Tide of Traders for Chaos is only allowed once per game.
Oh, that's interesting.
Actually, I have Chaos Codex here.
Oh no.
Add following sentence, Tide of Traders. I haven't used it. I didn't play a lot of Chaos before I jumped over Dark Angels, so.
Which is rightly so.
Yeah. I did enjoy my Amethystine Accord that I had. All right, Tide of Traitors. Let's look up.
All right, that's one.
Okay. Tide of Traitors stratagem. Use this stratagem at the end of your movement phase. If you do, pick a Chaos Cultist unit and remove it from the battlefield. You can only set it up, or you can then set it up wholly within 6 inches of the edge of the battlefield and more than 9 inches away from enemy models starting at its full strength. Oh my god. So, say for argument's sake, the way I read that is if you had a squad of 20 cultists and you had one left, I'm assuming that you would pay your 2 command points. You would get your cultists back to strength 20 people and go again and start from somewhere else.
Wow,
That's how I read that, because that's how I'd play the shit out of that, and that would probably be why they've just said you can only use this stratagem once per battle.
Oh, but what if I want to run it like multiple times?
You're not allowed to.
Oh, that's silly.
Unlucky. But I would do that and just keep redoing my cultists and keep redeploying them and redeploying them and redeploying them.
Just keep smashing it out.
Yeah, absolutely. So
yeah,
you see why. Word of the Phoenix. Word of the Phoenix psychic power appears to have a too low warp charge value for its effectiveness. As a result, we are increasing its warp charge value to 8. This change appears in the index Xenos 1 errata, but is shown for convenience. So Word of the Phoenix has a warp charge of 8. If manifested, select one of the following friendly units within 18 inches of the Psyker that has not made a soul burst action this turn. A Yannari infantry unit, a Yannari biker unit, or the Yin Khan. Is that it? Is that how you say it, David? YNCARNE, Yin Khan?
I think
the way I've always done it.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to split hairs over pronunciation of made-up words.
Now, this one, I actually like this one. This next bit. Abilities which ignore wounds. So
yes.
I know that people were stacking that.
Oh, naturally.
And now they've basically nerfed it and said, even if you have 3, you can only use 1. You only get 1 chop at it. 1 disgustingly resilient. You know, you can't do 1 and then something else and then something else. If you've got 3 things that, you know, that ignore wounds on your 6 ups or your 5 ups, if you've got 3 of those, you can only use 1. So, fair enough.
Seems fair.
Next bit, organised play. So I'll actually read this whole bit out. While organised events table on page 214 of the rulebook already restricts the number of detachment players can include in their army, this does not currently do enough to encourage players to take diverse armies when attending events following these guidelines. As such, we have added an extra column to this table that limits the number of times the same unit can be included in an army when attending an organized event. This change appears in the Warhammer 40,000 rulebook errata, but is shown below for convenience. So, replace this box with the following. So, points limit up to 1,000, 2 detachments per army. Number of times each data sheet can be included twice. And that's on a 4x4, suggested 4x4 battle size with suggested game length 2 hours. How the hell does a 1,000-point game each take 2 hours?
So this would be for like competitive, like
Right.
sort of playing like ITC events sort of stuff. They're like, oh yeah, this is about what they want to do. I think you get 2.5 hours for 2,000 points.
Okay.
So, and that's quite quick.
Yeah. So 1,001 to 2,000 points, 3 detachments or up to 3 detachments per army, and number of time each data sheet can be included, up to 3 per army. So, for argument's sake, if I was playing a 2,000-point game, I could only take 3 squads of Hellblasters, which, you know what, is fucking ample because they're expensive as hell. You know, stuff like that. I'm guessing that's for more referring back to the soup list. Would that be, Bryn, you reckon?
No, not really. So it's more counter spam. So so instead of being able to take, 3, 2 Space Marine, squads north. So instead of being able to take 2 5-man teams of scouts, and then 50 billion Fire Raptors and XYZ, and you can only take 2 of those absolutely insane units.
So in other words, you can't be a dick anymore.
Yeah, so you can't spam. It's a counter spam rule.
I don't know how well it's done, because if you can put them in talons or groups, I mean, I'd read that as, if the unit choice is 1 to 3, you could still max that out, and to me, that's one entry of that data slate.
Yeah, which is okay, and that I mean,
you get 9 or something, which isn't so bad.
Yeah,
it still won't really affect guard players. Like guard players can still take squadrons of tanks, I believe. I'm just trying to stick Celestine down. I will be. I'll grab my codex in a little bit to just double check that. But
yeah, because they used to always take them in like 3s, so you could max that out, and then that's one entry. Then you've got 2 more to use. You could just triple that basically.
Yeah, it can work for small stuff, but I think some of the larger units that only had single entries, so let's say things that like Valkyrie squadrons, like a Valkyrie is a single unit, you can't get them in multiple squads. I'm going to check now. Everyone bear with me while I code check myself. All right, so let's go have a look at how many. Okay, so that's like, so for the example of Wyverns, they're a heavy support choice. A unit contains 1, and you can add an additional 1, so you can have groups of 2.
Yep.
So the maximum you can now take is,
in your army, you will only have a maximum of
6
of those per 2,000 point game.
Yeah, per 2,000 point game. Whereas in other things, you could have like guard car parks of like easily 8 or 9 of these just hanging out there, and it's a huge amount of things. And then also for heavy weapons teams, they would take 4 or 5 heavy weapons teams of mortars, which is incredibly cheap and pumps out an incredible amount of power. Same thing with Dark Reapers. You can only take 2 teams now.
Yep.
So, or 3 teams for your points, and they only come in maximum groups of 5 or 6 or something.
Yeah.
But that's a good example. I mean, same thing with.
They've brought that asshole ability and taken it away.
Yeah, same with like characters. So if you have, you can only have 2 tech priests in your thing. You can have multiple commissars, but you can only have, let's say, you can only have 2 Weird Vein Psychers or 2 Primaris Psychers.
Yeah.
That you'll usually see. You can only take it does limit some things that I think is a bit silly. Like you can only take, I mean, it'll stop plasma spam, you can only take two or three special weapon squads.
Yeah, like I said, I could only take three squads of Hellblasters, which
exactly.
me, that's ample.
Yeah, that's heaps.
Yeah, because a squad's like 190 points or something.
Yeah, it's a disgusting amount.
Yeah.
Oh no, okay, so Lehman Russ. This unit contains one Lehman Russ battle tank. It can include one additional Lehman Russ battle tank.
Okay.
Oh, wait, or two Lehman Russ. No, so you can take them in groups of 3. Why do they not just say that?
Power level.
Yeah, so it'll increase your power level. So you can take 3. Like a Chimera that's unaffected because it's a dedicated transport, as is the Taurox. And then so Manticores, you'll only ever be able to see 3 of them because they're a single unit. Same with Death Strikes. Hydras, blah blah blah, same thing. No, and then groups of 3. So it seems to be groups of 3. So that's pretty standard. So, but we'll take another look. We'll have a look at the new cow.
Your what's name battle suits. You can have 9.
Yeah, you should be able to take 9. We'll double check it. They can take pretty big amounts. I remember that being. All right, so this unit contains 3 crisis suits.
Yep.
You can include up to 3 additional, or up to 6. Yeah, so you can take groups of 9.
Yep.
That's disgusting. So you can have a lot, and I mean a lot, of crisis suits.
So you can still be a jerk. You just
have to be less. You have to be careful about doing it. Like you can't like Riptides. Like let's have a look at the Riptide. Surely you can only take 1, or you should only be able to take 3 of them for a thing, which is fine. So yeah, it's only. Oh wait. Yep, no, that's fine. It's a single unit. There's no Riptide wings, so you only see 3 in a 2,000 point game.
Yep.
You'll only see 1 in under 1,000.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
Which is fair, I feel. Or you only see 2 in under 1,000.
It seems like they've actually really tried to sit down and crunch this and listen to people.
I think they've done I think for what they've done, without having to try and basically re-kick everything all over again, I think they've done a pretty good job.
Yeah.
What they've been doing.
I'm pleasantly surprised that it's taken this long for dickheads to break stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I would have thought it would have taken a little bit longer, and they haven't, so we'll definitely.
No, it's like I said, it's the big FAQ for this half.
So yeah, that's it. We'll see chapter approved release, I imagine, later this year as well. So
I think there's another FAQ coming before chapter 2.
Oh, all right, those are done. We'll just see if these guys fall down, which they probably will. Do they stay up? Do they stay standing? Oh, we'll pop them up here. They'll probably fall over. We'll just pop them out of the road. Oh yeah, one of them's already starting to fall. Damn it! Proper up.
Go ham, Celestine, drunk.
Oh no, she's falling over. Alright, these are the worst models to try and stack somewhere. We'll just give this one a little bit more support. They're not quite ready. Celestine's good to go. So she's all based up and happy.
Cool.
One less model that I have to worry about.
I think that's... Oh, hang on. We've got interim points reviews. Next.
Oh, yeah.
So,
next.
My Dark Talon just got bumped up another 20 points. Or not another 20 points, but got bumped up 20 points.
Are you a little salty?
I am, actually. And once again, this is probably my inability / being a shit human.
This is also true.
I would have liked it to come down in points, but like I said, I think that's because I'm playing it wrong. Like, you know, Dark Talon, you're doing it wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I really think that it's my ineptitude. So, you know, I'll hold the salty tears for now until I, you know, play a few more games with these boys and figure out how to unfuck itself. We've got Girlyman that's gone up in points again from 380 to 100. Good old Robert Girlyman.
Robert Girlyman.
Astra Militarum units. Commissars have gone to 15 points. Lord Commissars to 30. How many points was Sly Marbo? Big Shoots?
Oh, 65.
He was.
He still is.
Okay, yeah. He's
Unchanged.
Yeah.
It's just they've just included it because what they did is that they released the Astra Militarum Codex and then they released Sly Marvo without any points costing. They gave him the rules but no points.
Well done, G-Dubs.
And so then they had to release something in the next White Dwarf that said how much he actually cost.
Oh, and so this is the big fact to put him in legitimate writing.
Yeah, that's like this is where you can find it. This is how much he costs. This is exactly how much.
Sly Marbo finally resurfaced.
Yeah, that's it.
He's been around for a little bit, but yeah, he's up again. Doing the same.
Yeah, he's really good.
So Craftworld units, Dark Reapers, 12 points per model. Farseer, 110 points per model. Spirit Seer, 65. Warlocks, 55. And a Warlock Conclave is 45 points per model.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. I've struggled with that. I mean, I just got my head around the last opening up the bloody Craftworld Codex from the other week, and then I looked and went, why did Warlocks go up so much?
Yeah, no.
What's the changes there?
Girly Man, 400. So for me, for Miss L's units, for her Tyranids, Bivores are at 50 points now, and Hive Tyrant with Wings has gone to 190 points.
Oh, crazy.
Where is that codex? I don't even see it right now. I was hoping to. Oh, no, there it is. Hive Tyrant with Wings. Let me see what that was in the points costs. Adepts to Studies units fire up the gunship is 280 points.
Huh.
Death Corps of Krieg. Commissar is 15. Rider Commissar, Death Corps of Death. Rider Commissar is 35. And then the Chaos Fire up the gunship is 280 again. So what were we looking at? Hive Tyrant with Wings was 170. It's now 109. So it's gone up 20 points. The other thing that I've actually noticed today, even with the update that they've done, guys, be careful of Battle Scribe. Because Battle Scribe right now is showing a Dark Talon at 200 points.
Oh, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But that's not actually what it is. Sometimes Battle Scribe can take up to like a month to update.
Well, they literally had a because it was 160 points. So what I think they've done is just gone and added 20 points. But I did check an older list, and they actually had it at 180 points beforehand.
So they brought it down for a reason.
The points were wrong. Like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, when I was actually playing the army, like I was jipping myself out of 20 points to begin with, and now they're doing it again. So, yeah, interesting.
Oh, wow.
Now, that's pretty much all of it for the FAQ. But
that's pretty in depth. We've been going for nearly 9 now. So
hang on, just wait. You're a bit crackly there, David. Can you hear Bryn properly, or
can you hear anybody?
Yeah, he's going robotic.
Yeah,
He's too much yellow on the brain.
Fix your mic. Now I have a you guys have seen my big 1250 battle foam case.
Yeah.
And you've seen the foams that's inside that. They've actually brought out, and I am like super pumped about this. Magnetized trays. So basically, it's like a rack with shelves. Still with your different depths and your thick ones and that sort of stuff. But what you do is you just put a little magnet underneath underneath your base, and you just stick it onto the tray.
That's pretty cool.
Just stand it up as you would on the battlefield. And like I've seen a couple of quick vids on YouTube where guys have put their models on this tray and then literally flick them 360 degrees. You know, just like you're shaking up your paint or whatever. Just flick, and the models are staying put.
Oh, nice.
This is, I don't know whether it's up to the magnets or just, you know, a combination of that and the tray, whatever it is, but really cool. And I probably want to go into a little bit more depth on Monday if we've got time, or even, you know, the next decent Warhammer. But I want to have a little bit more of a look and want to bring this to our show and show this off, because I haven't been like super wrapped in products for a while.
Why don't you do a product review? Like, you just take a segment, or like whenever you want to do it. Like, maybe why don't you try and get on to the people who actually made this?
Yeah.
And you could do an interview with them about their product.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. I might throw them an email and get in touch with them and put that out there, because I saw it today. I think it was this morning.
Yeah.
And I shit a brick. I actually walked over and pulled the bag out and started pulling my foams out and looking at it and you know, eyeing it off against. It's 140 US for my size, for the 1250 bag size.
Okay.
So, you know, be somewhere around nearly like 180-ish maybe, plus shipping to Australia, depending. You know, I have to do a little bit more in-depth looking, but I really like the sound of this this new product that Battle Foam has brought out. So yeah. So who's bringing you on?
I'm still here.
Oh, you're still there. Cool.
I'm still here.
Okay.
I'll just doing the mental calculations on shipping and whether I do it, because it's kind of cool. I do have a lot of stuff that I want to display, and I've got a lot of wall space, and I'm just like, well, if I can mount like.
You need to just hold on, man. You need to do your tray again. Do your mic again. Sorry.
Do the mic again. It's gone all funny.
It's going all funny, man.
Right. Hold on, I'll have a quick look at it. If I can get it. Oh yeah, I see what's done to media. There we go. Is that better?
No, switch to your other mic.
Deal. Oh man, maybe it's just gone all funny. Oh, hold on, I might just knock the receptor or something. Is that a little bit better? Just still.
Yeah, it's still pretty shit.
Still pretty crappy. All right, that's not too bad. We can swap out to a second microphone. Oh wait. Default headset. Communications. How's that better?
That's better. Lovely.
There we go. I see what it switched to. All right, no, that's cool.
So, dude, have you got a screen free? Honestly, jump onto Battle Foam. Just type in Battle Foam and then go to new products.
I'm gonna go check this out now.
It is right there. Like these things. I'm getting a bit moist.
Getting a bit moist about it. Getting a bit excited. Battle Foam.
They're called the Magna Rack. So it's $139.99 US to basically replace the foam in my 1520. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I think you should do an interview with them and have a chat about it.
Now that you know put that out there, I'm gonna put it on the list because I'm super keen.
Yeah, and like you guys obviously have free reign to do whatever you guys want in your spare time. If you guys want to create content for obviously Aushammer, I mean it's a pretty easy show. But if you guys want to make content for Aushammer and in your own time, then it doesn't have to be, like I said this before, it doesn't have to be limited to when we do these sort of things or when we do
but yeah, I'm
random stuff. You guys can do it whenever. If you guys have a person who's really interesting, really engaging in the hobby, you guys want to interview them, like by all means, like take a crack at it and do it. You guys want to do like just an audio file or something, or you guys want to do tutorials, like I'm totally fine with that. I mean, once we kick off Twitch will be making it a lot easier for us to do this. sort of stuff, and I'll be able to do my.
Letting the cat out of the bag a little bit early. Are you there?
I mean, like if we manage to get on, we're obviously still in our investigation stages, but yeah, the plan is that if we can do it, it'll just be another media outlet.
So you got that Magna rack up there? Have a look.
Yeah, man, dude, that's impressive. Like that looks that's huge.
But basically, say the 1520 is what I've got.
Yeah.
And even look at the pics, like go into it, and he's literally got one of the trays upside down with a 32 or 40, a biker, and a massive like monster base size, and they're not moving.
They're good to go. Like you can see it's pretty solid.
Yeah, and just basically slots straight in. It's got little pins and stuff. I'm moist.
I wonder what does it provide magnets with it?
I don't believe so. I think it's BYO magnets.
All right.
But that's something that I don't believe would cost a lot.
No, I suppose. I mean, if you had neodymium or something, or
they've put there's a quick YouTube talk or review there, a 7-minute one. But yeah, these pretty much blew me away this morning.
I think I saw a person over in the US, or was it Canada? To magnetize their bases, they've mixed real tiny like 0.5 mil birdshot and resin, and they've literally poured it onto the underside of the bases. So they've poured it like into the rack area of the base, and so it's like a 50-50 mix of resin and metal balls, and then they're able to magnetize it. And so, wow, thought that's pretty good. That'd probably make a pretty stable base as well. You wouldn't have too much wobbly model syndrome, or you might.
I've got a squad of veterans, Aushammer veterans that are resined, water, all that clear resin, whatever in the bases, and they're solid. They're good.
Oh, that's good. Right. Well, we've been going for nearly an hour now. I mean, over an hour. Like it's been hour and a half, I guess.
We've gone through the FAQ and done a bit of a quick impromptu product review and product plug. So I think we're about done here.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Yeah. So, Dave, are you there? Did you want to?
I'm almost here.
Did you want to jump in and say anything? We're gonna wrap up, and I'm probably gonna play PUBG for a bit or something.
That's a fantastic idea. I'm gonna try and get my hand unstuck from the desk. I'm trying to put together a couple of play drones tonight.
Oh, nice.
I'll have fun with that.
And I'm finding this more difficult than putting a Storm Eagle together.
Storm Eagles are disgusting. Oh, well, good luck with that, buddy. Make sure you post pictures of your progress.
I'll give that a go. It's about 7 pieces so far now.
Oh no. Sounds like a big thing. All right, well, I can't think of anything else. Yeah, I'll just wrap us up. All right, so for everyone who's been listening, I think we haven't really had anyone on, which is to be expected. This has been the Aushammer Summoning Circle, our very impromptu, very random, very sporadic show that we do when we kind of just wanted to have something to do during the week. I mean, our Aushammer is now is a twice monthly show, so every fortnight we have a show, and yeah, we still like to do a bit of hobby stuff and gives a bit of an opportunity to do stuff like this.
And then every other impromptu show that we could give a shit about.
Yeah, that's it. Like it's basically whenever we want to run these things, we'll run them. We ran it this week on a Friday. We were going to run it on a Thursday, but everyone's sort of busy. But we ran it on a Friday because we've got Aaron Dembski-Bowden on Monday, and that's going to be absolutely massive. And we kind of just wanted to be able to have a quick chat amongst ourselves about the FAQ and be able to discuss what we're doing for the remainder of the week and the weekend, and just have a general hobby chit chat. Look, I hope you've enjoyed. It's been lovely to have you. To all of our subscribers, keep subscribing.
Thanks a lot, guys. Love your work.
Make sure you tune in on Monday. We'll be here with Aaron Dembski-Bowden. There'll be a cool little prize supplied by the wonderful people at Irresistible Force. Right. Anyway, that's it. That's it from the Aushammer team, from myself, Scotty, and Dave. You guys all have an amazing weekend, and we'll catch you guys later.